how do you do? All ready, guard? Right away then, I'm off. So the moving engine puffed, and having puffed, puffed on. And that's how I arrived back on the old familiar line. Someone had recently said, go west, young man. Now it seems that either the tunnel was short or my slumbers had been long, for I wakened to find myself in that interesting spot in South Wales, Swansea. Swansea itself is chiefly renowned as a commercial centre. As I was feeling in no mood for work, those facts escaped me. As this was to be a holiday visit, I made my way to Swansea Bay on the Bristol Channel. This great bay is encircled with all the natural glories of South Wales. Caswell lies here near the famous Mumble Pit, a lovely spot. Cliffs, clouds and sea all unite to create the perfect picture. Along the shores of Caswell Bay, the golden sands stretch for miles, and huge limestone cliffs loom up just behind. Caswell Valley, with its rugged grandeur, resembles many parts of southern Italy. But it was in the tiny village of Colbren that my greatest interest lay. Here, I'd been told I should find Moss and his master. Sure enough, there they were, just setting out for their day's work. Now, Moss, it be explained, is no ordinary dog. Oh, dear, no. To himself, he's quite an important person, and to his master, and the railway even more so, as we shall see. They were soon ready in their little motor truck, then away they went. Although it all looks very picturesque, Moss is not out viewing the countryside. He does this every day, so he's used to it. From Colbren, the little single-line track runs up into the mountains, being used almost entirely by the mineral trains as they journey to and from the collieries. One of the problems confronting the railway workers are the sheep, which are forever straying from the mountain sides down to the railway track. That is where Moss comes in. His job is to keep the line clear. So he and his master spend the day riding back and forth, shushing them off. Moss, of course, does all the shushing. One would think that with all this countryside at their disposal, the sheep wouldn't worry about that little tuft of grass growing between the lines. But then you know what sheep are. One goes and the family follows. And if it weren't for Moss, with that train just round the bend, there'd be a glut of roast mutton. Go on, boy, after them, and away they scamper, while the birds look on and laugh, or do whatever birds do. That little job settled for the time being at any rate. Signals go down and it's right away for the good spray. After making the sad discovery of the loss of my return half, I decided that this was also the train for me. But how I ever reached Cambridgeshire, I'm afraid I shall never discover. What I did find out was that I'd arrived on the very day when the Gein Cup angling competition was taking place on the River Ouse. The station was crowded with arrivals to take part in the event. Very soon, the peaceful river bank was lined with competitors on their way to the posts. The object of the competition was to see who could catch the most fish by the time the whistle blew for the race to stop. Competitors were stationed at intervals of 30 feet along the banks. And then the timekeeper blew the starting whistle. As a race, it was well named, as nearly everybody sat down. Some took their coats off, some kept their hats on, others just thought about it all. But, like Mr. McAuber, they all waited for something to turn up. All but one, and he decided on action. A bite. Don't get excited. Careful now. Well, I'll be what Isaac Walton would say. Oh, and I'd almost forgotten. There was one competitor, name unknown, of course, who decided to take the advice of old Rip Van Winkle. Probably would have taken him 100 years to land one, anyhow. And then came the whistle to stop. Followed by measuring and weighing, just to prove it. You know what fishermen are. Still, I must say a good time was had by all. Certainly there was nothing very fishy about the proceedings. For out of 440 competitors, 425 returned with an empty bag. Add to this the complete wangler, and he made 426.
But what the fisherman cannot capture, the camera can. So I found on a visit to the Zoo Aquarium. This little chap is a gutter, a tiny fish without a name. In 1 year, 2 gutters can have as many as 4,800,000 children. Something like a school of fish. Angelfish. Now you're a better judge for yourself. The dark stripes form a protective coloration in the wild state. When frightened, these colours rapidly fade and the fish die of pure terror. You can only hope there's a fishy paradise. At one time, there was a big market for angelfish in London, but now the price has dropped. It's the case of fallen angels. Siamese fighting fish are supposed to fight upon the slightest provocation, but these two were like our present-day prize fighters. They refused to scrap until they knew what their share of the film rights was going to be. No, not eddy canters, but telescope-eyed goldfish, rare and unusual. They are the result of careful breeding and too many late nights. The river lizard. He changes his ideas and sometimes lives entirely on land. His family tree goes back to before the flood. In Mexico, the thunderfish are local barometers. When they're lively, a sign of bad weather coming. It looks as if we'd better bear that note in mind.
All of which brings us to Reggie Bristow.